Okay, so 9/21, 4th of November 2019. Um, yeah, let's see how this microphone improvisation operates as I record and before I go to the shop. Yeah, would you like to listen further? Awareness days. Okay, they shall also pass away like other energies. Now, the idea, let's say I use the word, I don't know, idea or purpose or whatever we choose to say, is, yeah, really, this is fantastic for me. So as we have the awareness energy in the air, 6124 and the channel of awareness, the design of a thinker. Now, I feel like creating the tension out of the story, out of rather, okay, let's just, I just put it out, efficient. Okay, that's the inside, let's go. Yeah, let's create a suspension from the discovery, so, yeah, what was it really that you discovered? What, I can see as I talk and, yeah, even the energy changes as I feel like, I see myself going, but as I took the recording and the microphone out, the recording machine, and starting to record as I may make a walk before we enter the shop. So basically, this is the times of the change from dark to light. Yeah, the dark to light. So the channel of awareness in this short experience, and yeah, what actually I experience is, and as really dumb as it is, as profound as it is, it's about thinking. And it is us being aware of our thinking. Nothing more, nothing less. Us being aware of the frequency that we can hear inside our own head, yeah, our own, in this case, mind. It's the energy of downloading this information, yeah, and digesting it in order for, let's say, darkness to turn light to light, or unknown to known. Yeah. Now, then what's the problem? If it's so dumbly profound, then what's the problem? Yeah. That's, again, in a rhetorical question, because it seems that there is some kind of an issue in us as humanity. So the channel of awareness is what happens for me these past days, and to my interpretation, again, what happens through observing, not acting upon the thoughts. Why even when I find myself acting upon the thoughts to doing, wow, it's like, okay, maybe now I will act upon the thinking. Yeah, the mind then loses its pure capability, its pure energy. It loses it instantaneously. That's what this channel of awareness is here for me to tell me. Now, this will be gone. So in the duality, on one hand, oh my God, 18 hours as long as I'm awake, yeah? Eyes open, aware, conscious, maybe would be as I'm conscious, not sleeping, 18 hours, 16 hours a day. Oh my God, when the mind is not active in talking, inside it's drilling, yeah? Now, once the mind recognizes that we are here to just think for think's sake, not think for do's sake, think for think's sake, then also the thinking process of us eventually, well, if we go directly to the structuring, eventually we efficiently structure what we are thinking about, and we're able to say that. No, not my role, yeah? In about a couple of weeks, there'll come the channel of structuring, and again, we are here to, so for me, I'm here to take this energy, because that's what the program provides, and it's here to be taken out through curiosity, discovery. I found this, I experienced that, and yeah, whether yeah, I could also have waited with it, also part of it. I could also have not, maybe next time, yeah. I don't even know if I'll send this recording eventually, but I do see sometimes even that, because my mind is already so adherent to the experiment of not initiating, that it's clear that it recognizes, oh, you initiated because what happened? You were not willing, actually, even now, this perpetuates. It's no good or bad, I'm just observing this. In sometimes an extreme self-conscious, now, yeah, self-consciously. So it's just, if I'd stop and I wouldn't go on with my story, and most likely I will, because I actually record to myself, is that it's really thinking for thinking's sake, but it drives people in the world, yeah, well, crazy, mad, this level or the other. While I'm not actually talking, and in the night and during the day, actually, not when I sleep, evenings, wow, this is drilling, making conversations, yeah, acoustically, not images of something, about things in my life, yeah. But again, it's not here to serve me, but the mind, because it is here to learn, to become aware, as in one of my recent recordings I talked about, it's here to become aware of awareness. It's here to become aware of this thinking process, partially, not just this thinking process. The fact that here it's part of my potential wisdoms, where it was trying to control me in life. Wow, because what the mind does creates conversation, yeah, about perhaps how things should be, based on I don't want to say, it's not necessarily that there is a question in the head, and yeah, but in a sense there is. So as examples how this energy can be used, yeah, because we do live the personal life, we do live the identified life, we do live in the illusion. So in my case, and this is why often I do share, or I believe I share private information, just, or personal, just to show it's impersonal, yeah, as we human beings take this journey so personal. So he talks, let's say, about the mother of my daughter, or my daughter, or he talks about and something that's related to some energy there. Maybe an unknown thing, unclear thing, and perhaps also about the shop, yeah, some things that are actually in my life, in my case, yeah, it can also start thinking about even these things that I might be thinking now and talking about awareness itself, yeah. Like again, as one time I mentioned, these days have been phenomenal because through the deconditioning process, at least what I describe it to be, because I don't even know, it's just a story. What is it, this deconditioning process? Again, rhetorical question, but so it's really that I'm so much aware of this drilling of the thoughts that when I sit and I use the practice, again I sit, I close my eyes, and again at times, wow! Again, I don't even have to close my eyes, it goes. Especially not when I'm not next to people, because then I get also their energy and it's changing, but mainly when I'm on my own. Wow! I can even assume how conversational for some people, and I hear it outside. Wow, today two mothers, one mother came, actually was, well, nice, my sacral knows what's right, so okay, can I sit here? And she points to the bench to the sofa in the cafe, and I go, okay, the sacral knows. She says, yeah, because there are there is my baby, she says, and there is another baby coming. I go, and they sit. Wow, and the mothers, the babies were fantastic, no problem. Playing first, watching, because they don't have the ability to speak yet. Again, we encourage them. So I go on with the story, yeah? Would you like to listen further? The main message is to keep it, practical, efficient in a way. And it's really not my style of talking. And I'm mostly aware of this. Or I'm most aware. Sometimes I change, yeah? Adverbs and all of that, and I'm blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Yeah, grammar. Yeah, it's really that it's thinking for thinking case, and I don't know meditation what I actually talk. Wow, as I see this, it's not just fun. It's like again, it's really dark thinking period, because it waits for the empowerment of such moments. It really comes out of nowhere. Well, it comes out of somewhere, but in the individual thinking process, you don't really know where. Well, maybe you do, but you don't know. You know, it's really just, okay. It's not like there was a story and you could visualize the story, the beginning, the middle, its end, and you tell a story. Or, you visualize the experiment, and you talk the detail and the opinions of that. No, it's just like, that's it. I know this. Now, I don't. Yeah? People with channel of structure, not channel of structure, actually the voice of the 23, which is since I'm recording to you, you, the 23 is a big conditioning whenever there's an I know. Yeah, and that's interesting to recognize our voices, because our voices are designed to transmit a unique frequency. It's not speaking or not speaking this voice or the other because human design says so. No, because there's a frequency there. There is a frequency that's here to be out. Experienced, thought, spoken, so on and so forth. As we'll soon go through this. This is just the energy that's happening. If you wanted to have a sense of how the channel of awareness sounds inside, this is it. Wow, this yeah, coming far and going like a sound, you know, ambulance. It's, oh, we draw near. Soon it will fade away. Yeah, like any sound. And then it's not that we will realize what we need to realize. We will be aware of what we are here to be aware of in our thinking process. Now, since it's just streaming through me, yeah, I'm watching the thoughts, actually the personal thoughts, yeah, the personal thoughts. He, she, he, there, that, the contract here, the contract there, many thoughts in my life. And when I'm sitting, it's like drilling in my head. The conversation are like, again, once you realize that you're not the thinker, it's also part of this process. That's why, again, when if I take part of what Vipassana gave me, and already when I was there and just stopped with trying to influence what I experience. Okay, let's bring the experience to the tip of the nose. Why? Because I can. Yeah? Oh, that's just perpetuating the same illusion of the doer. Old seven-centered techniques. Old seven-centered techniques. Old seven-centered in the sense that trying to do something with what is happening. Yeah? Now, I do find myself sitting. I do find myself closing the eyes. Sometimes I even find myself, holding the breath or doing, but because I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm not saying letting go, not doing that. Like be aware of this, of course, and talking this to myself. So again, thank you. In our communication, you helped me to just take this out for the sake of taking this out. Maybe next time my mind says I would be even quote unquote more patient, quote unquote on the more, yeah. So, and but this is the thing that I just realized. First thing I realized, it's about this, and already maybe yesterday or 2-3 days ago, it was when it started. I had this boom. I'm just here to think. Again, I'm not. It's not my energy. But partially, this is what conditions us as human beings, that we are just goddamn thinkers. And when the thinkers, and I have in my mind popping two, which one is you, another is another you, but yeah, another is the ex-wife of my father. So this, where actually the channel of awareness was very dull awareness, very dumbed down awareness in my in my standards. I've been taking a lot of information in this open head of mine during the years. A lot. Discerning in my path in life what is inspiring or not for everyone, for my perspective, from my experience. This is why when someone talks, it's not that it's so easy to influence and get that, oh, this is inspiring. Because the awareness is here to be inspiring. So she had, the ex-wife of my father, she had, which I used to also stepmother at the time, but she had this channel of awareness going to two mental other channels, channel of curiosity, just for those, if you speak human design, or, well, some of you do. And it's actually for you that I record this long morning story walk. After a long time, I'm actually walking in the morning through the park. it went actually this awareness again, or because it's not that awareness, it's like, oh, it should be something thoughtful, like not considering, but something interesting or not, or it's just thoughts. It's just a conversation going on in the head, and it's streamed to organizing logic, to the logical side. So sharing this awareness, and it was such a dumbed down. I call it stupid, but it's not personal. It's not good or bad. I meet other people who again they influence me, and again I don't give a damn about my curiosity. People can say, hey, you're going all about, all around and around, Where's the logical point? Where the practical? No, not my business, of course, yeah? And people will discern what my energy that I bring out, yeah? Again, the more I keep my mouth shut, or at least you like to hear, you like to share, we go on this business, and I'm very discerning also in my sharing. Either people come to the shop, or these few relationships, very few, maybe three. Guruji Mataji, Yaniv Zehra, we'll give it a name, and Dovi Yaniv, for that sake. But this thing of that again, what to do? I'm a storyteller, so I'm part of my consciousness is not interested in just for the sake of the collective, yeah? I'll just bring that out. Collective will not understand that. Yeah. Collective. As far as I discern that, I don't know if that's really true. If you just, go on, it's thinking for thinking's sake. They will look at me like, what the fuck? But we still think. So I'm going with all this telling them analogy of this, and you hear this sound from there and that from there, blah, blah, blah. Do my collective role. Yeah? But this is fantastic, because once you go through, I do share, I don't know meditation to begin with. Yeah? Because people come first to the shop, or when they meet me, what is it here? What's your name? What do you do? I don't know. Just quiet your mind, not quiet your mind outside. Not quiet your mind inside. Outside, shut up. Outside, deal with it internally. Again, at least balance it 80%, 20 or something. Rather than now, as I met these two mothers, I go back to that part of the story, and the children were fantastic. The baby's fantastic. Before they start talk, they are there, and the mothers go like quack, 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 like I'm going now. It's no difference. I'm making sounds now. They make sounds then. So, rhetorical question, what's the difference? Why is the judgment? In a sense, I put it out rhetorically, yeah? It's not that I really ask about it. I explain, I describe that that's the main frequency outside. And again, it's not their fault. It's not in control of anybody. I have a lot to say. People even ask me to put on YouTube all of that energy. Your energy should be there, but wait for it. And yes, sometimes I do contact you, and I may, you want to hear, you go, you want to share, sometimes, playing with it. Yeah, it's more of a safe zone. This is the game of experimenting with also responding, and also, in a sense, waiting, in my case, as well. So can I really wait and collect all of these experiences while someone will meet me and just, again, all the unaware people looking for something out there. Yeah? And again, I do play sometimes, and then share it, and yeah? Now, so these mothers, that's again, I can imagine that if I just take out all my thoughts that I don't call it anymore, it's not a Vipassana practice, but I do sit, close my eyes before I go to sleep, before and when I wake up, I again, this fixed pattern actually surfaced back now, and I close my eyes, I sit on the sort of sofa, a couch or whatever it is in my house, sort of a foam block, and I close my eyes. And recent days, since this transit, again, I connected to it because I see a change of pattern. Human design allowing us to see the change of patterns, and not just in Vipassana say that shall also pass and this shall also pass, and try to maybe determine what is constant in you and what is not. It just says it clearly, and I can identify and associate the change to something specific. Not always. Again, the more the mind goes to an observer mode, the more it's free to see that. That's my experience, at least. My mind's experience, yeah? Interpreting the experience. It is, again, this, let's say, as I call it, the parasympathetic and sympathetic minds. So the sympathetic mind, the reactive, is, well, it just goes on about, yeah? But again, maybe with you, some people around there, I would refine these concepts, let's call it. So we'll maybe figure out where they are coming from, or at least put the language to that. Whether this now is a sympathetic mind or a parasympathetic, reactive or responsive, yeah. Maybe aware or unaware, I don't know. But so it's really that yeah, it's a teenager's discovery that actually I meet people. Actually, it's in a way easier with as my mind interprets. I don't know if it's really easier, but I'll use this comparison with mostly people who are my age or younger, more fresh. Their mind is, wow, older people, 40 and on. Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. And the tools they've got, they serve at any age. Yeah. So this I don't know meditation, as I mentioned, and it just now survived through me to address this thinking for thinking's sake. Because what we do, we go out, and me as well, I'm part of that. Blah, 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 blah. And it all starts because we've got some conversation that we're aware or not aware in our head. And there's a question popping up. And this question, again, it changes. The question changes, but starts us, it gets us engaged in answering that. And then digesting it in order to bring, again, if I put it in human design language, which is a very detailed one and clear to me. So we want to puke out this conceptualizing process based on questions that were not relevant to us. Yeah? Now, how do we know they're not relevant? We don't. Yeah, we are here to be thinking creatures, either receptive or unique, to this energy, right? And now, I only have a consistent capability to be curious, and mainly the train of thought of other people is when they bring me about the past, and then I can see whether it's inspiring and talk curiously or not about it. Yeah? And see, and again, whether people believe it or not, the story established. Now, we have other streams there. Yeah? But mainly it starts when, people are occupied. I see it, and I speak about these two mothers and the babies, because the babies were occupied with something. Again, we as adults, we first inclination, social one, is to engage in a conversation. It doesn't have to be like that, but it's a social conditioning. Yeah? For many reasons. This is how our minds got in control using different energies. Yeah? I experience, again, I'm heavily conditioned through it. Even genetically, psychologically. I was sitting in the kitchen today, 4:30 a.m., something like that, and a guy who's staying in the house where I'm also staying, he came down, and I sense myself, again, also before that, when we were in the kitchen together, and I feel the inclination, the conditioning to be social, to speak, and then what do? We ask something because we are uncomfortable with staying silent. Now, I don't know how, I have no, as I mentioned one time, solution for it, no answer for it, just telling a story of my experience. There's no, this experience is better, this is worse, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, yeah? This is right, and no. But it all comes from me, from this, for me, now in this energy, this main, I'm aware of my thinking. Yeah? Now I have we all, humanity, have for 5 days a consistent energy. Soon again, in 1-2 days, it's gonna disappear again. A consistent way to digest thoughts. Some of us will be born now with this energy. Some are living with this energy. And they don't know how to handle that. They have not learned to handle that. Yeah? Often they will learn on themselves because it's an individual energy, this channel of awareness. It's not an energy that listens to other people telling them you should learn this or that. We point maybe, but they will discover their own awareness process. Yeah? This implies to any individual energy. You don't really teach an individual. You don't. You don't. Yeah, it's not like a collective thing of repetition and the stories from, as we've got all our books around there. No. And yes, there is a recognition of something, so, yes, you can feel it, you can identify with it in a way. So you say, okay, yes, I am self-absorbed, or I am inspiring, or I am mutative, or I am emotive, and so on and so forth. Yeah? Okay, good that you tell me that I'm aware of my thoughts. When I will tell you or tell someone who have this energy, their thoughts will continue to do their streaming, and they're not ready to listen to someone else. That's the quality inherent in any individual. But the other parts, collective and tribal, my interpretation, they will let go. They will let go. They will realize, okay. Because we are all, that's why, again, pure individuals, unless they're truly ready to listen, they will not listen. And I'm not pure individual. I have connections, and I'm connecting to the tribe, connecting to the collective, yeah. But this thing, it's phenomenal because it's, first of all, for me, yeah. Because it also will stream some kind of other awareness to all my other places that are not individual thinking but individual being. Yeah. So if I try to take this energy of a constant thinking, and again it's a pressure, and I don't have the channel of mutation, but I have the integration being for, again, human design. I don't know, maybe I just send it to you. You. Also, it's just here to be, in a way, aware of that energy and nothing more, nothing less. Because there's a continuity and a relation between all the individual energies. So if I have the channel of charisma, it's just here to be aware of his charisma, of his doing in the now. And the awareness of the thinking, same. It's here to be charismatic. It's here to be aware of this, well, quote unquote, doing, but instead of doing, thinking in the now. That's why I said thinking for thinking's sake. Yeah? Now, it really depends on the level of awareness, or I don't know if the consciousness of, because consciousness is not really a level for me, it's more of a state. Yeah? I used to say it's like a plate or a slate, you know, waiting to be imprinted, and the awareness is you aware of the imprint. So you're more like to be aware of the imprint. So depending on the awareness, perhaps state, maybe you want to call it level, but not to measure that so much of higher, but still, then I will be able to converse with others on that matter. Yeah. Because often we are far away. Most humanity is far away from grasping that. And you hear it when people start to talk. Again, all this is just energy, pure energy streaming out of me. It's also pure energy streaming out of everyone when they talk. It's just mostly repetitive, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. Yeah? And that's actually, as I speak to you now, to me actually, yeah, to you. I'll keep playing with this you and I, because I see how thought is ridiculous and identification. And how it streams, gets me identified with I, gets me identified with speaking to you. The people who will grasp it, wow, that's like you really realize your place on earth. And worth the whole journey as being alive, the way I experience it and transmit this message. So, actually humanity, now I grasp it as I speak, when we have all this talking outside, on the streets, in life, again, not just streets, cafes, this is just perpetuating this repetitive nonsense quality, nonsense quality of our thinking process. And again, because we have not learned timing, we are not aware of timing. As King Solomon said, when to speak, when to shut up. This awareness is, again, maybe there are other reasons actually, it is what it is, and blah blah blah, and then da-da-da-da-da, I don't know. But it's really what causes the frequency to be like, as I look around and I see these leaves, now autumn time, and many leaves, they all actually almost look the same. They're not. We can go near each one and they'll be special, but we'll see that. But generally, as a whole, it's like, And again, don't get confused. It's a fantastic scenery. The leaves on the floor, flocking with each other. But this is how we actually are perpetuating ourselves as oneness, not as uniqueness, but as oneness by simply talking nonsense. Now, whenever I hear myself thinking, and maybe even starting to judge through the thought, something is good, is bad, okay, where's the good? Where's the good? When I hear the other way, good, where's the bad? Because it's all together. There's a movement towards sameness, and that's why we are all actually speaking nonsense, repetitive stream of what's going on in our heads and down to the throat. Yeah? Most of us will be unaware of this. Most of us will maybe even not hear this message ever. Most of us might hear it and have no idea what it means. Yeah? And other parts also, many people will, I actually get it, but they will not really grasp it deeply. And some might really, okay, not a joke here. It's really a joke that there's nothing to do about it. I'm just excited for excitement's sake. And again, in the morning today, 4 a.m. and last 3 days, that was a terror. It was a dark period because that's what the awareness brought. Thinking and thinking and thinking. But once I just had this. Yeah, this is this is the eureka moment. This is the potential of channel of awareness, and it will be gone. I'm not holding to it. Yeah, there cannot be. They will be gone, and my mind will go, oh, but that was an inspiring period. It will, because it will be attached to the pleasure of it. It will forget that it drilled and drilled and drilled and drilled and drilled. Now again, people with awareness, channel of awareness, are here to live that. Good for them, and bad for them, and good for them. Yeah? So, well, this is for everybody. Those with channel of awareness, those without channel of awareness, those who are now conditioned through the 61 for a couple of years, and I know some. So, yeah, I can really feel what it brings, empowering, but to my way of thinking, of talking. And it was also very disempowering because it's relentless. And since I recorded it so-called to you, and you, well, one of you, channel of awareness, yeah, maybe you already grasped that it's thinking for thinking's sake, thinking for thinking's sake, thinking for thinking's sake, and even in maybe you, you got case, doing for doing case, or doing for doing sake, or being aware of doing for doing sake, yeah, in the now, in the thinking, in the doing, in the thinking, in the doing, in the thinking, in the doing. Why? Because why? Yeah, until I got it, and then again, like now they transmit through me, like when I'll meet you, and now they transmit through me, filter through me, a unique energy. Yeah. When I don't identify with it, yeah, of what to do with it, yeah, like people can be empowered through archetype of human now, through power of what it is to be human, and it's like can also be disempowering because their energy through channel of power, yes, 5734 will get them to just their energy to suck. Again, I have this channel, so how it is taken by people who don't have it in their daily life, I don't know, but it will get them to the place of now survival. Yeah, survival, responding to some acoustic dangers, and their mind will get caught in that and try to bring them in action, let alone the non-generators. Let alone not the non-generators. They will be caught in doing, potentially, yes? Because their mind will interpret that there is a doing to be done for. I wouldn't say necessarily survival's sake, because it's not the design of survival 5710, but to display an archetype of a human being that has power. That's how, again, mechanically, not experientially I'm talking, but mechanically, the non-generators would operate. And again, other generators, me as well, even having this channel, I might be conditioned now, instead of waiting to respond, or leaving the response mechanism, then you realize there is no waiting. Yeah, there is no waiting. Yeah, just something inside of you. Yeah, it seems wait for something to come, but you're always engaged in movement. So just actually the things, I'm kind of jumping through topics, so just the things that I'm already, because I have responded to things and the energy is moving. So in order to go to the next step in them, for example, I responded to taking the shop until the end of this year, and contract is about to end. I don't know the next step. My mind now jumps in to do something about it, not to wait that I will respond to the next thing that is related to this movement of, again, shop, money, whatever is that, yeah? And it's not that it's easy to really discern movement, response, manifesting, I believe for everybody, yeah? Because our mind is so dominant. So dominant. So basically, if you have not followed so far, again, the simple message is thinking for thinking's sake. That's what the mind's for. And if we use the human design and we'll spread it to the 6 energies, so 3 pressure, logic for logic's sake, thinking for thinking's sake, or awareness, thinking awareness for thinking awareness sake, yeah. Abstract thinking for abstract thinking's sake. And are you ready to be also? I use the word aware, nothing to do about, yeah, of the way this energy streams from you. Again, it's a projected element, so if it's not really invited, even if you respond and you are not really invited to share this awareness, it will not be able to go out. Now, because we are looped in that, yeah, we don't really know, we just leave it. It's not like I'm thinking now, oh, now my curiosity is invited. It's not like that. This is why it's really all about leaving it, and some of us mental creatures are doing their best to bring you like a unique description, explanation, organizing of the mental realm. Yeah? Again, if I'm not in the right timing, curiosity will often be rejected as nonsense. All this abstract thinking and stories. But it does its trick, you know. Often I hear, wow, how interesting. How interesting. Okay, it's a sign in a way from outside, whether I need it or not, and I don't. It's a sign. Okay. Some mental concepts go out in a curious way because it's interesting. Yeah, just to, again, wherever you have. When you have the channel of awareness and wow, you're inspiring. You're doing the job. Wow, what level? And it will be like, wow. And yeah, for the people who are here to be empowered by this thinking energy. Yeah. In the moment. And if I talked about these 3 pressures, yeah, there are the 3 expressions of pressures. Yeah, so still digesting them and expressing. Curiosity that express the abstract thinking process. And the acceptance, to accept the details we talk about and the opinions in order to organize. Yeah. So express the logic thinking, which is, wow, so tremendously different than this awareness, individual energy. And the structuring, which is actually the natural flow of, the efficient way of the individual to speak to the world in the beat. If not, what really? I can make my way around this, because my mind is collective. I can find ways out with my mind through curiosity, through stories, connecting that person. Individual structures, or even people with a 23, they can't. It's really timing. But again, not the 5 waiting patterns, no, it's individual timing. Yeah. Often why there is sometimes silence, they won't speak because also they experienced that when they spoke it was just out of the timing. But yeah, just a bit of the mechanics that I kind of lay out along the message of thinking for thinking's sake. Yeah. And now the layers, my mind has got it. Again, it doesn't mean it will not interfere again, and now these transits still do their job. I will finish talking, I'll go to the shop, like you heard before, the sound. Yeah? But this thinking for thinking's sake, and everyone who will grasp it, it will be such a relief. In any way possible, open minds, yeah, ajna heads. It's just fucking streaming outside from me, and I'm going blah 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 about all these things that do not matter, trying to convince myself and others that it was good, I was at the job and at the party, it was fantastic, and whatever. Because again, some of these things I hear people talk about, yeah, blah 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 blah. I'm one big blah blah as well. Seemingly more discerning, or at least again, like I said, it really doesn't go out wide, otherwise it would be like, yeah. And it's not like a pat or a tap on my back, it's not like, it's really for the people out there. So as I go back to I don't know meditation, so the people, when they go with their questions, just throw it to the garbage. Even if you have a defined head, just wait for the timing. Be aware of it, yeah? Because most of us, we speak about garbage. We move or we try, yeah? And I've tried it often, and my mind has learned to ask questions. Not my role, not my duty, not my job. Yeah, and I don't know meditation is for people with defined heads. Well, you would also realize that when you have a question, it will come to a resolution eventually, to begin with. The ones with open head and the gates in this. Yes, you will find the people that when you ask them, and if you will be aware, you'll see how it works. Yeah? That when you pop up a question, past, present, future, depending on your design, you will have the other person brings an answer to this, or rationalization or realization, how you want to call it. Yeah? Past, present, future answers. But instead, it's like, because people are, all the people with the gates from the ajna pointing to the head are not willing to, it doesn't have to be, I don't know, meditation, you can just shut up. When somebody asks you a question, realize it's got nothing to do with your life. Yeah? And it's clear that this is just part of my path. And even now, I give you this example, yeah? If you have the channel of awareness, and again, it's not that I have, as I said, a formula or an answer or a solution, nothing certainly logical, nothing of that to asking questions. Yeah, I do sometimes, especially with yes-no questions, although, yeah, I'm also, again, my mind's not sure about this, but it still streams through me. What to do? Watch it. Yeah, you see, rhetorical question, it's theirs. It's there. Yeah? It's deeply in our language, and it's hidden in our expressions and all of that. And I'm just watching it. If it needs to disappear, it will. If it needs to stay, it will. So this Yeah, the example I'm telling you about, even now we've been conditioned through the channel of awareness. There was a flow of it was not like that it's clear that it's a question. What with this, what with this, what with this, boom. No, it's like a conversation going on inside my head, and there's a realization on its own. Well, if we talk human design, a rationalization. Thinking for thinking's sake, boom. It's not a formula. You cannot teach the collective thinking for thinking's sake. It has to be something else. But even the rational answer came by itself. It's not that I had to be engaged in a conversation with someone else. That's for all of you who are defined in the head, which means you're defined in the ajna. And that's also, by the way, a lot of people in human design who have, for me, what I experienced and taking zero grasp of that. Really zero grasp in that. And again, that's part of my process. I don't know, meditation made it very clear that in some courses which I took, which were about asking you, so, what did you experience this week? Now, there's no, on the surface, it appears like there's no harm and there's no problem, but if we're engaged in taking the control out of the mind and bringing it to the body and then aligning the mind to its role as a seer, we are getting away from this supposed goal. If there is such, and it seems that there is, that we are going in these steps of being aware and all of this, and that's clear for me. Clear point, but we are not ready for it as humanity. It's just too dominant. So I first play it out. I go with the mutative I don't know meditation, and people will embrace it, will see their life transform in all the layers, because the mind is freaking out of that. And when the mind's freaking out of something, you know you're on the right path. When the mind is freaking out of something, you know you're on the right path. So thinking for thinking's sake. And also as I said, really also wait for it. Wait for it. If you're a defined head, wait for it. Wait for it. You'll get your answers. You're built to get them. Don't take that out. That's my transmission to you. That's your responsibility. It's not that you're doing anything wrong if you take it out. There's no choice. But I guarantee that you'll see something in your inspirational thought level changes. But often you want to get someone else caught in this thought process like I'm now. I see the conditioning even within me. Now I'll bring that maybe just to you. Just to you. And you'll filter what's necessary and do the job in transmitting that and transferring that on. But even here, I feel the pressure to even again after that express that. It's not that it is of any importance, really. Sometimes it seems like this. That's the mind's job, to sometimes get things like, oh, it's serious, for this. If we're aware, we would also catch that. Mind is ridiculous all the time. But it does, there is something about, interesting things and inspiring and part of our human life. And again, all as I say, is perfect. All is just happening. And I'm also part of my process is to continue to observe, okay, what's going on with this mental life we have, these mental pressures. Do they feed me with good garbage to be composted? Interesting one. Because the transits now have shown me, wow, hell yeah, this can be inspiring. And then only left to wait, and again, compare. Mind is comparing. Compare that to other beings like you who have a unique awareness thinking process. And in my discernment, when we will meet, and I will be ready to hear you, and you will be ready to hear me, and I have the ability to discern, not for being truth, but just to reflect it back in the head. Inspiring or not? Yeah, I take a lot in this open head of mine. When it's more and more just stop dealing with all my personal life, what to do and how to do and when to do and how much and all of that. Yeah? And again, not quieten that inside, outside, as we say, shut up. And certainly I'm not shutting up. But when I'm aware, okay, so let's see if this transmission will go to you and do what it has to do and take you on the path where it has to take you. Mainly you with a defined head and your, let's say, responsibility or your role is a partially it's a projected role, yeah? And the open heads, and well, good luck. Yeah, we are, we are all a bit fucked up, but good luck. Wow, these questions that we are forced to deal with, and we are all, yeah. I'm also putting to you energies, and what to do. We are alive, that's all.